The sound of her mother's heels echoed through the hallway as she called out her usual reminders. Fisa stirred the tea gently, nodding but barely listening. Her thoughts were elsewhere. Michael stood across the kitchen, slicing fruit with calm precision. He didn't say much, but his presence filled the space in a way that made it feel warmer live. When the door finally closed behind her mother, the silence that followed felt heavy with possibility. Fisa kept her eyes down, not wanting to, seemed too quick to look at him, even though her body was already aching to turn in his direction. Michael rinsed his hands at the sink and then reached for the sugar bowl beside her. Their fingers brushed barely a touch, but it sent a jolt up her arm. "You forgot to add sugar again," he said, his tone soft. "Maybe I wanted you to notice," she replied, a smile tugging at her lips. He raised his cup to hide his grin, but it was too late. She'd already seen it. Their silence wasn't empty, it was full. Full of unspoken thoughts, of things too delicate to name. Fisa leaned against the counter, catching glimpses of him as he sipped his tea. His sleeves were rolled up, and she couldn't help but notice the quiet strength in the way he carried himself. Then, out of nowhere, she asked, "Do you ever feel like no one really hears you?" Michael looked at her, his arms now resting on the counter. "All the time," he said. "But I hear you." That hit deeper than she expected. She blinked fast, unsure how to respond. He didn't try to fill the space. He just stayed there, fully present. "I like when it's just us," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "I know," he said, matching her tone. "Me too." Their eyes met, not filled with longing, but with a kind of truth neither of them could say aloud. She looked away first, face warming with something more than just shyness. She reached for the toast, suddenly focused on spreading butter, though her hands were trembling slightly. Michael circled the counter, moving to grab the remote. He brushed past her, and that simple nearness wrapped around her like a memory she hadn't yet lived. Just before he walked away, she reached out and caught his wrist, not tight, just enough. He stopped. Neither of them spoke. Her fingers slipped from his slowly, almost unwillingly. He gave a small nod, as if he understood everything she hadn't said. "Quick," she whispered to herself. "Before they catch us." She let out a breath she hadn't realized she was holding. The room felt different now, charged, filled with things that hadn't happened yet but already existed between them. Fisa sat near the window, a book open in her lap that she wasn't really reading. Her eyes had drifted over the same line too many times. The air felt thick, not hot, just full of things she couldn't say. She heard the floor creak and looked up. Michael stepped in quietly, placing a cup of tea beside her without a word. He sat across from her, sipping his own slowly. "That book must be really something," he said with a hint of playfulness. She closed it, finally giving in to the smile pulling at her lips. "It wasn't till someone started staring." "I wasn't staring," he lied, obviously caught. "You always do. And you always let me." The silence that followed wasn't awkward. It was dense with the weight of what they hadn't yet voiced. "I don't know how to explain it," Fisa said, leaning forward slightly. "But being near you feels like ... being seen." Michael set his cup down. "Your mother doesn't see it," he said carefully. "She sees what she wants to. You've always been the quiet one. The helper. The one who listens. But with me, it's different. You're different too," he added. "Not because you're quiet, because you notice things. You carry so much in silence." The words settled deep. She fidgeted with her sleeve. Then, slowly, he reached for her hand. She didn't pull away. His hand covered hers, not pressing, just being there. "I think about you," she whispered, "more than I should." He didn't flinch, didn't shift. He just nodded. A breeze drifted in through the open window, lifting a strand of her hair. Without thinking, he tucked it behind her ear. It was a simple touch, but it made her breath catch. His hand lingered just a moment too long. "This isn't just in my head, right?" she asked. "No," he said. "But it's not easy." "I don't want easy," she answered. "I want real." His jaw tensed, then relaxed. "Real takes patience." She nodded. "Then I'll wait." They didn't need more words. Something had shifted between them, quiet but undeniable. The days felt heavier. Not because of time, but because of all they weren't saying. Fisa moved through, her chores half present, her thoughts always drifting back to Michael. She could feel her mother watching, picking up on the smallest signs, the shared glances, the silences that spoke too loudly. One afternoon, while folding laundry, she heard him. "We need to talk," Michael said from the doorway, voice low and tight. She set the towel down. I know. He closed the door behind him, gently. This thing between us. We can't keep doing it like this. In secret, in pieces. Her heart stuttered. Was he stepping back or stepping closer? What are you saying? She asked. I'm saying I want more than what we have now, he said. I want to talk to you without checking over my shoulder. I want to know the things that make you laugh, that keep you up at night. I don't want to guess anymore. She stepped forward. Do you really think it's possible? I don't know, he admitted. But I'm tired of pretending you're just another person I pass in the hallway. Her voice cracked. You mean that? I've never meant anything more. She exhaled. The tension in her chest finally began to dissolve. Then let's stop hiding, she said. It won't be easy. No, she agreed. But it'll be worth it. She reached for his hand, lacing her fingers through his. The contact steadied her. I'm scared, she admitted. So am I, he said. But I'd rather be scared with you than safe without you. The weight of the truth settled between them. Quiet, firm. They wouldn't hide anymore. In their hearts, at least. Whatever came next, they'd face it together. The silence between them had become unbearable. Fisa stood frozen in the kitchen, a mug shaking slightly in her hand. The room felt unfamiliar now, too still, too full, of everything unspoken. Fisa, Michael said from the doorway. Something in his voice stopped her cold. It was serious, but not desperate. Focused. I can't do this anymore, he said. I've been holding back, pretending. I look at you and wonder what would happen if I just. He didn't finish the sentence, but his eyes said the rest. She stepped toward him, the fog in her chest lifting. What do you mean? I mean I want you. All of you. I don't want to hide anymore. I don't want to be afraid of what comes next, because I already know it's you. It's always been you. His words landed like a final puzzle piece falling into place. She didn't answer right away. The fear inside her tangled with the hope she'd tried so hard to ignore. But it's not that simple, she whispered. My family. My future. It's not just us. I know, he said, but you're my future. For a long moment, she just looked at him. Let herself really see him. Let herself believe him. I'm scared too, she finally admitted. But I want this. I want you. He pulled her into his arms, and for the first time, everything felt right. The fear, the hope, it was all real. But so was the love growing quietly between them, even in the cracks. They didn't need to say more. They would move forward quietly, cautiously but together. And that made all the difference.